Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to We the People. This, as you know, is our kickoff for a movement across this state that we definitely want to be historical. We are willing to take this state back. We the people said enough is enough. We're tired, and we want to turn this state blue again. And we've had a lot of support through social media as well as around the country. And so we're just glad for those that came that you did come. I'm humbled, blessed, and highly favored. The purpose of We the People is to create a movement like Alabama has never seen since the Civil Rights Movement. We have to remember the struggle and the strength that people together had during that movement. It wasn't a white thing, it wasn't a black thing. There were people of all cultures and races that walked together. I was humbled last week at Selma when we did the bridge crossing. I was emotional because I realized when I saw the name on the bridge and as we approached the bridge that I stand on the shoulders of many people. I was humbled when I saw the foot soldiers who were the ones that marched 52 years ago, not knowing if they were going to live or die and make it to the other side. When I realized what we're dealing with today in this country, as well as in this state, I realized that this is civil rights, human rights, and constitutional rights, part 2. And so We the People was created because I found well over 30 Democratic organizations that were either defunct or barely holding on. People were angry after the national elections. They didn't know what to do. They didn't know how to feel because they felt that their rights and freedoms were being threatened. And I began to see that we needed to harness all of this and pull it together into something positive that we could use, get rid of the apathy that was in this country and in this state, and use it to bring us around where we needed to be. And we have seen all over this country and even in this state, people have stepped up, spoke up, and they're trying to find their voice. And that is my mantra. Speak up, stand up, use your voice, vote, and support whatever future candidates we have. And so for those that have moved or remarried or divorced, if your name is changed, if you haven't registered to vote in over 3 years, we have a voting table for our register to vote. Everywhere I go, I try to take voter registration, so please do that. If you know people that haven't voted, we're going to allow you to take them to them so they can register and send it off. And one of the things that I'm trying to make a difference nationally is July 4th, Independence Day. I'm asking people all over the country a massive voter registration. So if you're at your family reunion, a barbecue, wherever you are, stop and ask everybody to register to vote. We would like organizations all over this country to do this. You know, we want to win and we want to be peaceful, but we want to raise our voices. But at the same time, we want to do something that's going to really make them scared, because you know they're running scared. We can't get Shelby and Mo Brooks, we can't even get them to come to a town hall meeting with their constituents because they're afraid we're going to hurt them. So I don't know about you all, but do I look like I'm going to hurt somebody? I mean, well, you know I could, but do I look like I'm going to hurt somebody? No, we just want to ask questions and find out what our leaders are doing. The other thing with We the People, we want to recruit people to run. In this last election, as a young lady said, I did the same thing. I voted a straight Democratic ticket. That meant I only voted for 3 people. Everybody else was Republican and unopposed. Now that was ridiculous. I did a straight ticket and I voted for 3 people. So I'm jumping in saying I'm going to run as governor because I want other people to come and say, if she can do it, I can do it. So we need people in every category to run. We have a speaker that's representing Organize Alabama today. Awesome group. That's what they're doing, organizing Alabama. What we're doing as we the people is mobilizing Alabama. And so all of the organizations, all the individuals that are ready to get busy, we want you to be a part of this movement, because this movement will pull us all together. And you know, folks, we can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results. It's not going to happen. We've got to do something different. And so we the people say, I don't care who my state leaders are. If they're not working, don't lose your focus. Let them sit in the corner on their tails. Because we the people, and this movement is going to take we the people to make a change in this state. So I'm glad that you all are here. We're here not because the state legislator is in. We're here as a symbol of Alabama on these Capitol steps, because it says that this is symbolic of who we are and what we want to do. So if you're tired like me, we're going to put our action where our mouths are, and we are going to get busy. So today is a call to action. And when we leave here, we're going to go into our communities and we're going to get engaged. We're going to expose. We're going to motivate, educate. We're going to mobilize, energize. We're going to organize, agitate, and we're going to vote. And we're going to do it together and stop going against our own self-interest, and everybody's doing the same thing and getting nothing done. And so that's what this is today, a call to action. My first speaker, I'm going to bring, where's Joe Ward? We're going to bring Joe Ward up. And listen, they gave me their intros and I left it in the car. How about that? But Joe is an activist. I call him one of my advisors. I tell him I am a sponge when I talk to him. And he can tell you a little bit about himself, and he's going to look at motivate. Thank you, Joe.
Well, I'm probably the oldest liberal Democrat left in captivity. So I've been around the block a long time, and I'm going to make my remarks very short. One of the problems that we've had is the Democratic Party and its leadership, not only in Alabama, but at the local level and nationwide. We've forgotten our roots. We used to be the party of labor. We were the party of working people. We were the party that believed in helping those who could not help themselves. We were the party that believed in building the middle class in this country and expanding it. We got caught up in a siren song that all we needed to do was appeal to Wall Street and get large amounts of money. And with large amounts of money, we could win elections. So we became no different in many ways in our opposition. Let me give you a couple examples. Last night in this state, 40,000 children went to bed hungry without anything to eat. Those 40,000 children will go to bed Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night, and it will be Monday before they get to school and have a decent meal, either breakfast or lunch. And right now, Donald Trump and his folks are trying to cut out the agricultural program that feeds children in school. And 40,000 children will not have a hot meal for 7 days a week instead of 5 days a week. We can't let that happen. About a year ago, my wife said to me one afternoon, I've got a prescription up at Kroger Pharmacy. Would you go up and get it for me? And I got up and there was a lady in front of me, an elderly lady, and I shouldn't call anybody elderly. I'm 78 and got white hair. But she had some money and keys and stuff. She was just fumbling around. And I finally figured out what the problem was. She had 3 prescriptions. She only had money to pay for 2. She was trying to decide which one of those prescriptions she needed the least and pay for the other 2. I stepped up and said, put the most expensive one on this card. And she left. The lady pharmacist said, Mr. Ward, it breaks your heart, but this happens to be 9 or 10 times a week. And she said, if you look at these people, when they check out, their cart's full of dog food, and they don't have a dog. That's the cheapest protein they can get. Now, folks, in the home of the free and the land of the brave, that's wrong. And no matter what party, what philosophy, what theology, who you are, rich or poor, we've got to stop that kind of thing from happening to the people in this country. Democrats and people like us are the ones that are going to make that happen. I don't want to see that again. I don't want those children to go to bed any night without adequate nourishment. I want the Democratic Party to stand for good education, for fair housing, for rebuilding the labor movement, for expanding the middle class. We have the wherewithal and the ability to do it. What we've got to do as Democrats is start acting like Democrats.
Thank you, Joe. And before I go any further, let me say this. I have a friend, E.L. Jones, here from Aleppo, DJ Aleppo, and he's doing all of our PA system and our music. I called him, and he said, I support you. I'm coming. Thank you. Thank you. And if you all want to know anything else about him, he does a whole lot of other things, recordings and all of that. And he even preaches, okay? So he's real good. All right. The next person we're going to have come up is a young man. He's a high school Democrat. Just hold it. I'll come and get him. He's a high school Democrat, and his name is Tanner Faulkner. And he went with us on the bus to the Women's March. He went down to Selma. Anything you ask this young man to do, he does. And I wanted him to represent the young people because they are our future, okay? And we're going to hear what this young man has to say, and I'm sure you're going to love him as much as I do.
Hi everybody, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much, Deborah Barros-Smith. My job is to energize you all. I contemplated this task unaware of how to do so. And then I began to think back to Hillary's campaign. How did I keep myself energized? I worked. With the current situation going on in Washington, we feel like there's nothing we can do. There's no way to stop the seemingly endless amount of discrimination and hate spewing from number 45. There is, and never doubt that you can be a part of it. I'm 15-year-old, average grades, just a normal human being who knew there was a problem, saw and acknowledged the suffering of those around me, and decided to take action. I ran into the Democratic Party in Etowah County. Good and God-fearing is an understatement to describe these wonderful people. Thank you so much. From the day I darted through the door, I was ready for a better America. The 2016 election, even though we lost, was the best thing that ever happened to me. Election night was hard. But it was at this pivotal moment I began to realize the people making decisions on my behalf did not have my best interest at hand. And the only one who can ensure the rights of me is me. And keep and remember always in your heart that God, whatever you perceive him or her to be, has promised a better day. Study, learn, and register voters. Be prepared for 2018, and please remain positive. These are the most important things of all. A better day is on its way. And to the young Democrats, there is a time in your life when you have to decide between what is acceptable and unacceptable. Know this, the former host of Celebrity Apprentice does not need the nuclear launch codes, believe me. We're the ones who hold the keys to the future. Hillary Clinton likely ran her last campaign for president. Now our time to step up is coming. We haven't even begun to stitch our square in the quilt of humanity. There is absolutely no telling what we together will accomplish. Love and compassion is stronger than anything Donald Trump can do. I say this even with the constant threat of nuclear war above my head. When we are all gone, the love we showed for one another will still exist. I am prepared to stand alongside you all and fight the good fight. I am prepared to do whatever it takes to ensure a better future for myself and each of you. I am prepared to step out of my comfort zone for the sake of my rights. And most importantly, I'm prepared for Donald Trump, and I know each of you are as well. We have the mind power he can never beat. We have the stamina, courage, and bravery to do whatever in this world we want. Let us be prepared. A better day is on its way. And I know that as long as people like my good friend Deborah Smith are around, we will have a champion to fight for us. I believe she's going to win, and thank you once again, and thank all of you.
Okay, didn't I say you'd fall in love with Tana? See, that's the voice that we need to stand and fight for. Because when it's time for me to move out the way, we train them, they'll step up, and they bring their own uniqueness. And Tanner, thank you so much. Okay, Lou. This is Lou Willie, and he and his partner, Pat Ciano, have organized Alabama. And let me also say this for you all that are listening, that 8 o'clock every Monday evening is a conference call. And if you go and join Organize Alabama on Facebook, on social media, you can then get the number to come in and call. And let me tell you, these people are awesome. They have a training every Monday night at 8 o'clock. Lou, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and bring what you came to give to us?
Thanks, Deborah, for putting this together, and thanks for having me. My name's Lou Willie. I'm from Birmingham. I'm a hardcore Democrat. I've worked on the Obama campaign and numerous campaigns at the state and local level as well. And basically, I'm here today because I don't go to rallies. So that may seem like a contradiction, but this is a call to action. That's what Deborah's about. Deborah's about action and getting us together to make a difference. And so what I want to bring to the table is to offer you some advice as to how you can start making a difference in your community, in your city, in your neighborhood, as soon as you get home, okay? This is in my car at all times. A clipboard, voter registration forms, and pens. Wherever I go, I can get someone registered to vote. I challenge everyone here and everyone not here to get voter registration forms from your county board of registrars, buy a couple of clipboards from your dollar store, keep some pens on you, and any chance you get, ask people if they're registered to vote at their current address. We need to get everyone across the state registered to vote. Right now, there are over 500,000 unregistered but eligible African American citizens across the state of Alabama. A lot of people feel like their vote doesn't matter. We need to prove to them that it does. And one of the ways we're going to do that is start reaching out and doing voter registration. What's the next step after we get them registered to vote? We have to turn in these forms. We have to take their names and numbers, and we have to call them every election day and say, don't forget to go vote today. If they need a ride to the polls, we need to give them a ride to the polls. If they don't know what's on the ballot, we need to help educate them about what's on the ballot. If you need voter registration forms from me, these work all across the state of Alabama. I'll be happy to give you some today. If you have questions about doing voter registration and events after this event, feel free to look me up on Facebook. Feel free to join us at Organize Alabama. It's a Facebook group that will require approval, but we'll be happy to have you. And you can reach out to myself, Lou Willie, or Pat Ciano out of Baldwin County, and we'll help you get started. and we'll help you figure out how to turn out these voters on Election Day. So this is real action. These are real steps you can take to make a difference in Montgomery, in Washington, in your city. And I want you to consider this. Until we get this done, these Republicans down here in Montgomery don't care what we have to say. If we start showing up to their town halls en masse, they're going to stop having the town halls. So it's time we elect people that will listen to us at their town halls. Thank you.
Thank you, Lou. Like he said, this is about action, and thank you for coming, Lou. I'm humble.
Thank you.
And like he said, if you go to Organize Alabama on Facebook, you can join, and then you can also participate in the conference call and in getting action oriented. And before I bring the next speaker, let me also say this. Once again, we need people to run. I can't say that enough. Every media blitz or interview I do, one of the things I say, I'd like to see 100,000 women across the United States to run. But here in Alabama, the next time I vote, I really don't want to be embarrassed. I want to see every position has an opposition. Democrat should be on that